I'm 12.5K away. I'm straight out of Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I rap like a and I sing a little bit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. About 3 years publicly. But I've been making music for years since I was probably like 11. I'm gonna be 28. I probably don't look it, black don't crack. But, I've been doing it publicly for 3 years. So.
With that breaking news, a woman and man are dead following a shooting last night in the Jones Valley neighborhood. Kayla Warren and Brian Adams shot just after 8 p.m. Warren passed away shortly after the shooting. Adams died earlier this afternoon. Police are still looking for the shooter.
6 bullets tore through the walls of 66-year-old Marion Redwine's bedroom. One shattered her cup of pens, spraying ink across her medications. Another pierced her television. "If I'd been in my bed, I'd be dead," she told police. But Marion wasn't the target. Outside, on a porch just feet away, 28-year-old Kayla Warren lay dying. A mother, a fast-rising rapper. A cosmetology student, and a woman with dreams that would never come true. Have you ever wondered how quickly your life can change? How a regular Wednesday evening with friends can become your last? August 21st, 2024, Germania Park, Birmingham, Alabama, 8:04 p.m. What began as a casual gathering among friends ended with 2 people dead. 28-year-old Kayla Alexandria Warren and 20-year-old Brian Adams. 2 suspects were arrested. Capital murder charges filed against them. Then it was dismissed, and they were allowed to walk free. But why? What you won't hear in news reports is that one of the victims may have been involved in planning the very attack that took their life. Or that a judge with a history of dismissing murder charges would let both suspects walk free despite damning evidence. The question at the heart of this case, will Kayla Warren ever get the justice she deserves? The answer will force you to question everything you think you know about victims, perpetrators, and a system that sometimes fails them both. If you want to understand what really happened that night in Birmingham, not the sanitized version from news reports, stay with me till the end. Welcome to Mindtwist True Crime Stories, where we reveal the truth behind true crime cases that others won't tell you. Kindly support us by subscribing to this channel and turn on the notification bell icon. Don't forget to check out our other true crime stories, documentaries, and playlists on this channel.
Like when I was probably like 21, about 20, 21, I was rapping. My brother was like, "Nah, you gotta say it with your chest." I never knew what he meant, cause I just was rapping, thinking I knew everything. But I found it by just continuously going to the studio and just, evolving with my wordplay, lyricism or whatever, and just how I knew how I wanted to sound in my head. So I try to be as consistent as I can. I don't never want to try to overwork myself. And then if it's not going to be how I wanted it to be, I'm not going to just jump on it right then. I'm still going to wait, so.
Before she was a headline, Kayla Alexandria Warren was a 28-year-old mother with a voice that demanded attention. Born June 10th, 1996, in Birmingham, she built a growing reputation as K-Way and 205 K-Way in the local rap scene. Her music, raw and authentic, captured the reality of her life, available on Spotify and YouTube, where fans followed her journey. But music was just one chapter in the story she was writing for herself. Kayla had enrolled at Midfield School of Cosmetology, balancing classes between studio sessions and motherhood. Her plan? Build a beauty business, create financial stability for her daughter, and continue making music that spoke her truth. Family described her as sweet, very caring, and a great mom. Every move she made, every lyric written, every class attended was building towards something better. Years of public music, countless hours in the studio, a future in cosmetology within reach.
I be looking for you if you looking for me. I was dumb at a young age, you see. More like some less than one love. It was hard for the trust, but I couldn't get enough of your touch.
What drives a mother to pursue multiple careers while raising a child alone? The same force that pushed Kayla to write lyrics late into the night after putting her daughter to bed. When was the last time you worked towards something with that kind of determination? The kind where sleep becomes optional and obstacles become stepping stones? For Kayla, that determination would place her on a friend's porch on August 21st. The wrong place? The wrong time? The wrong gathering? August 21st started as just another day. Another step toward her goals. Another 24 hours of balancing motherhood, music, and school. What Kayla couldn't know was that forces were already in motion. A previous robbery, a planned retaliation, a gathering that would become a target. The question isn't just who killed Kayla Warren, it's why she was there at all, and whether someone she knew had already marked that house for violence. As night fell on Birmingham, Kayla made a choice to visit friends. It would be the last choice she ever made.
I'm recording, go ahead.
Not knowing this one, I didn't want to judge on my past. Don't even know I paid the way, although I was going fast. Everybody on the same wave, I just turned the page. I don't want to work a job, I'm sick of minimum wage. And I just want to fly, keep snakes far out my range. I've been known for the spaz, I blank any day. But I gotta think anyway. Do I want to do this, girl, or just walk away? Forced to go through isolation, but I found out the beauty. I be skeptic when they ram me. What if they want to do me? What if they want to screw me? Obligated to blow my screw loose, but I'm so wrong with just a female. I'm the human news. Oh.
Germania Park sits on the western edge of Birmingham's historic West End. Mid-century homes line streets where neighbors know each other by name. The 700 block of 30th Street Southwest, a typical residential area where children once played freely. By 2024, Birmingham's homicide rate had reached historic highs. Germania Park wasn't immune. Residents had grown accustomed to occasional gunfire in the distance. But nothing like what was coming. August 21st, Wednesday evening. The summer heat still hanging in the air as darkness fell. 8:04 p.m. A small group gathered at a home on 30th Street Southwest. Kayla Warren stood on the front porch, perhaps checking her phone or taking a moment of fresh air. Without warning, multiple vehicles pulled up to the residence. What happened next wasn't random. It wasn't a drive-by. It was calculated. Gunfire erupted. Multiple weapons. Multiple shooters. Bullets sprayed across the property, striking the house, the porch, and nearby homes. Kayla collapsed on the porch, struck multiple times. Inside one of the vehicles, Brian Adams, 20, was also hit by gunfire, possibly from someone at the house returning fire. The vehicles sped away, first to an apartment complex, then to Princeton Baptist Medical Center with the wounded Adams. Meanwhile, next door, Marion Redwine dropped to the floor of her bedroom as bullets pierced her walls. For 13 years, Marion had called this house home. That night changed everything. I was sitting in my lounge chair watching television, she told police. I heard the shots and jumped down. 6 bullets entered her home. One struck a metal cup on her table, exploding it and scattering ink from pens across her medications and floor. Another bullet hit her television, somehow leaving it functioning. If I had stayed where I was, I wouldn't be here now, she said. I love my home, but I just don't feel safe anymore. I have to leave. If you're finding this case as disturbing as I did, hit the like button right now. Your engagement helps this channel continue investigating cases where justice falls through the cracks. Have you ever lived somewhere you felt unsafe? Share your experience in the comments. As police secured the scene, Birmingham Fire and Rescue rushed Kayla to University of Alabama Hospital. Doctors fought to save her, but at 10:54 p.m., less than 3 hours after the shooting, she was pronounced dead. Adams, transferred from Princeton Baptist to UAB Hospital, died the following day from his wounds. 2 victims. 2 deaths, a community in fear. But the investigation would reveal something the news never reported. This wasn't a random act of violence. It was retaliation for a previous robbery, and one of the victims, Brian Adams, may have been part of the group planning to rob the very house where the shooting occurred. The vehicles that fled the scene weren't just escaping. They were taking one of their own to the hospital. A plan had backfired in the most deadly way possible. Birmingham Police Department's response was immediate. Officers secured the scene, collected shell casings, and began interviewing witnesses. The double homicide became Birmingham's 103rd homicide of 2024, adding to Jefferson County's total of 130 that year. The initial evidence painted a confusing picture. Multiple shooters, multiple angles of fire, bullets that seemed to come from both outside and inside the residence. Detectives canvassed the neighborhood, gathering statements from residents who heard the gunfire but saw little in the darkness. Security cameras from nearby homes captured vehicles fleeing but not the actual shooting. For 8 months the case appeared stalled. No arrests, No named suspects, no public updates from police. Kayla's family buried their daughter, sister, and mother. Brian Adams was laid to rest. The community's fear gradually returned to the background hum of caution that defines life in high-crime areas. Marion Redwine moved away, unable to feel safe in her home of 13 years. The case could have become another unsolved statistic, another file gathering dust, while new homicides demanded attention. What happens when police know who committed a murder but can't prove it beyond reasonable doubt? When witnesses won't speak on record? When evidence exists but doesn't tell the complete story? Think about that for a moment. How many killers walk free not because they're innocent, but because the system requires certainty? In April 2025, the case suddenly broke open. Not because of new evidence, but because someone finally talked. April 10th, 2025. Birmingham Police Department's Special Operations Division's Crime Reduction Team located Jamil Carrillo Jemison, 23, in the 1900 block of Princeton Court. Initially arrested on unrelated marijuana possession charges, Carrillo Jemison found himself facing homicide detectives during questioning. What he told them, or didn't tell them, led to a capital murder charge. The warrant specifically cited capital murder, 2 or more victims, reflecting the deaths of both Kayla Warren and Brian Adams. 4 days later, on April 14, 2025, police arrested Ladre Demon Todd Green, 23, of Hoover, Alabama. He too was charged with capital murder in connection with the double homicide. Both suspects were held without bond at Jefferson County Jail. The arrests brought momentary relief to families who had waited 8 months for any sign of justice. But the most shocking revelations were yet to come. Detective Nick Clark, lead investigator on the case, had pieced together a narrative far different from initial reports. The shooting wasn't random. It wasn't even primarily targeted at Kayla Warren. According to Clark's investigation, the deadly incident stemmed from a previous robbery. Someone at the house on 30th Street Southwest had allegedly robbed one of the suspects. In retaliation, that suspect and several others, including Brian Adams, had returned to the residence intending to rob those inside. Multiple vehicles pulled up to the property. The plan was set, but before the robbery could be executed, gunfire erupted. Kayla was struck while standing on the front porch. Adams, who had remained inside one of the vehicles, was also critically wounded. The caravan fled, first to an apartment complex, then to Princeton Baptist Medical Center, seeking help for Adams. An attempted robbery had turned into a double homicide, with one of the planners becoming a victim. What unfolded in the preliminary hearing would not be the direct path to justice everyone anticipated. Instead, it was a revelation that would stun the courtroom, twisting the narrative of that horrifying night into something far more intricate, far more unsettling. Detective Nick Clark, the lead investigator, took the stand. His words cut through the expectation, reshaping the entire case. Clark testified that the deadly shooting on 30th Street Southwest stemmed from a botched robbery attempt. And then came the profound revelation. One of the victims, 20-year-old Brian Adams, was allegedly part of the robbery crew. The motive, Clark explained, originated from a prior robbery. One of the suspects had allegedly been robbed by individuals at the home. In retaliation, a group, including Adams and another suspect, returned to the property, intending to rob those inside. Multiple vehicles converged on the address. But before the planned robbery could take place, a chaotic exchange of gunfire erupted. Kayla Warren was struck while on the front porch. Adams, who remained inside one of the vehicles, was also critically wounded. After the firing stopped, the group fled, transporting Adams to a hospital where he later died. The prosecution presented compelling details. One suspect, during questioning, admitted someone in a separate vehicle had opened fire on him, prompting him to return what he called warning shots. Facebook messages from Todd Green's account, exchanged the day before the incident, referenced the prior robbery and talked of wanting to shoot 2 individuals, which the prosecution argued showed premeditation. Shell casings matching weapons used in the shooting were found in Todd Green's vehicle, along with a drum magazine capable of firing 50 rounds. Prosecutors argued the coordinated action to travel to the location, armed and with a clear motive, demonstrated collective intent. The defense attorneys countered fiercely. Kayla Jemisin's lawyer maintained his client had entered the house peacefully and was seen by the homeowner's daughter just before the shooting, arguing she would not have entrusted her daughter to someone who posed a threat. He insisted no witness stated his client had a weapon, claiming the state's case relied on inconsistent statements from a high-pressure interrogation. Todd Green's attorney argued self-defense, denying intent to kill, and stated his client admitted to warning shots elsewhere, not at the scene. He pointed to the lack of direct eyewitness accounts placing a gun in Todd Green's hands. If someone had seen him fire, he stated, you can bet the prosecution would have brought that witness forward. They didn't, because that person does not exist. With these conflicting stories, a victim now entangled in the alleged motive and the full truth obscured by the chaos of that night, the judge's decision hung heavy in the air. Everyone in that courtroom held their breath, waiting for a ruling that would either bring justice a step closer or tear it away entirely. The fate of the accused, and the ultimate answer to, when the pursuit of justice leads only to more haunting questions, who truly pays the ultimate price, rested on that single word. Judge William A. Bell leaned forward, his decision already formed. The state has not presented sufficient evidence at this stage to move forward with capital murder charges. With those words, the case collapsed. Some family members wept. The prosecution's team sat stunned. Bell clarified that the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office still had the option to pursue indictments through a grand jury, but for now, the charges were dismissed due to lack of probable cause. Kayla Jemisin was released on June 12, 2025, while Ladre Demon Todd Green was released on June 4, 2025. What does justice mean when the system requires certainty, but crime scenes rarely provide it? When witnesses fear retaliation? When evidence exists but doesn't meet the legal threshold? This wasn't Judge Bell's first controversial dismissal. It marked the third time since May 21st that he had dismissed murder charges in high-profile Birmingham cases. Does this reflect weaknesses in the cases themselves? A higher judicial bar for proving capital murder? Or something else entirely? For the families of Kayla Warren and Brian Adams, these legal distinctions offered no comfort. Only the knowledge that the men accused of killing their loved ones would walk free. The question is, if these men didn't kill Kayla and Brian, who did? And if they did, why couldn't the system hold them accountable? The dismissal of charges left a void where justice should have stood. For Birmingham residents, particularly those in Germania Park, the case represented more than just another statistic. It embodied a broken promise of safety and accountability. Kayla Warren's daughter now grows up without her mother. A young mother, an artist with soaring dreams, gone. No one held accountable for her death. Her voice, silenced. Her aspirations, now just memories. A cosmetology career that will never launch. Meanwhile, key questions remain unanswered. If not Kayla Jemisin and Todd Green, then who pulled the trigger? If they were involved, why couldn't the prosecution build a stronger case? What happened to the other individuals allegedly present during the shooting? This case exemplifies how justice can slip through the cracks, how evidence, testimony, and legal thresholds can collide to create an outcome that satisfies no one. What do you think happened that night in Germania Park? Was the judge right to dismiss the charges? Or did two killers walk free? Share your theories in the comments below. We extend our heartfelt condolences to the family of Kayla Warren. We hope that sooner you will get the justice you deserve. If you found this true crime story valuable, subscribe now to this channel to catch our next investigation, and turn on the notification bell icon.
Why do I feel this way? Well, before finding
Thank you for watching to the end, and see you guys in our next story. Stay safe.